Hello YouTube, this is Matthew Williams. I'm just making a quick response video to a comment which was made on YouTube. Somebody was asking why energies were present in man-made circles if they were in fact man-made, and it's a very good point. I think it has been addressed that I am claiming that there are energies present in man-made circles because the circles are in fact man-made, but I'm claiming this. How is it true? What I'll do here is just explain to you that we have actually taken out a number of people over the years who are crop circle researchers, and we've taken them out into the fields whilst we've made circles. Now these researchers have then not told anybody that they've been there. They've come out and they've just kept it secret. So when the circles have been discovered in the morning and the other researchers have gone in and said, oh wow, these are great circles, yes, there's no damage to the plants, look, we've got the bent plants without breakage. They've sent off samples to the labs. These test samples have come back as being strange changes in the plants, and also energy equipment which has been taken out to sample in the field has also picked up large energy amounts. Now these researchers know that these circles were man-made because they watched us make them. So if the samples have come to the labs and the labs have said that there's something strange there, this means only one thing, that basically man-made circles do create energies. And if the lab samples are to be believed, and I've made a comment that there is a slight problem with trusting, I believe, fully trusting the work of BLT labs, because a lot of the original premise work of their saying that plants had physiological changes to the cell structures and this sort of stuff, a lot of that work was based on a false premise, i.e. that if you have cell changes and if you have strange things, then this is proof that it cannot be made by man, which is a false premise. You see, I mean, it's like saying, how can I explain it? I don't know. It's like we've got two memory cards here, This is a false memory card and this is a real memory card, okay? So the false memory card, which is made in a factory in China, if we send this to a lab and get it tested, it will show up as having no effect. The real memory card, which we don't know who makes the real memory card, if it's sent to a lab, will have energies and will have plant things going on with it. So we've got basically that this one is made in China and you say that there's nothing interesting about it, and this one you don't know its origin and you say there's strange things about it. But the funny thing is, if I hide the two of them, mix them up so you don't know which one's which, and we give you two completely new circles and you don't know who's made these, then you send them both to the lab, suddenly this one has strange energy effects and strange plant, things happening to it, and this one comes back as having strange things and energies attributed to it. Now that is weird, Think about it, because we as circle makers know that all the circles, really, that you're seeing out there that are claimed to be wonderful, all those circles are man-made, Okay, one or two of them will be known to be television, made for television, or the farmer's been paid, and maybe even the circle makers will have been caught there doing it. So they'll go, no, we're not interested in those are the man-made ones, we're not interested in them. A couple of circles per year will come out as being people saying there's damage to the plants and they think they're more likely to be man-made. Now all of those circles, when they're known to be man-made, will be sent off. The lab tests will come back and say, oh yeah, we're not very excited by that, there's not really very much there, and then all the ones that are left over, which are classed as the unknowns, we don't know what makes them, those are the ones that tend to come back with the lab results saying, yes, very interesting, very strange stuff. And doesn't that say an awful lot about where you're sending this stuff to be tested from? Now, I just put that to you as a hypothesis, right? That's my hypothesis, that there is something seriously wrong with the BLT labs and their procedures. Because if you send them a known man-made circle, it kind of just disappears off and they're not interested and they don't test it. And if you send them something that's genuinely unknown, which is still a man-made circle, then it comes back as, oh yes, very interesting, and oh strange, and aren't we interested in this? Yeah. Now, if you can't see the problem with that, if people can't see the underlying problem with this situation, then there's no hope for us, basically. But what I'm saying to you is that we know that when we've done things in complete secrecy, with scientists and researchers present, such as Ron Russell, Simeon Hein, there's a couple of others as well. Better not mention some of their names at this point. But I mean, those guys have gone out with us and watched us make formations. They've tested them with energy equipment before going into the field, and there's been nothing present. And then, after we've actually come out of the field and made the circle, they go back in with their equipment and they found a large amount of energy, And so they know something's going on in an energetic sense. Now, if they were to send those lab samples off secretly, and those lab samples were to come back saying, that the crop circles were, very interesting from a lab point of view, and had strange changes, then, it kind of proves the point that basically the labs are, they're being influenced, let's put it like that. They're being influenced beforehand into what the origins of the circles are, and they are giving out the results accordingly. So my suggestion for future work of this kind is that that the samples are sent in completely blind, as they should be, completely blind, where the lab doesn't know where the circles are made by people or whether they're classed as the unknowns. Whether we as circle makers, we know they're all made by people, yeah, okay? But this is the way that the samples should be done. They should be sent in as unknowns, even if there are researchers there watching us making these formations. But we can only do this with researchers we trust, because after it comes out that it's known that these are man-made circles, we have to be confident that we're not going to get shopped into the police. And I say we, I mean I don't really make crop circles anymore, but speaking on behalf of the people that do make the crop circles regularly, we can allow researchers to be there if they are trusted to us, but they have to approach us and we have to gain a trust. Now, most researchers aren't approaching us and gaining our trust so that we can take them out. So really, very little research has been done in this area, and I'd like to see more research done in this area, because it helps prove the point that people are making the circles and there are strange effects in them. But if you've got biased sample taking and information being passed across beforehand, then there's no hope. There's no hope that you're going to get realistic results out of the lab, or it doesn't appear to have been that there are realistic results coming out of the lab so far. So that's the problem as we have it, as I see it.